Stuart Smith here with you for Life, the Basic Manual. So we've been talking about recovery, and I have a few other videos on the topic of recovery. We've talked about many pathways, the definition of recovery, and a lot of things foundational to being able to find which way works for you. One that we've talked about is certainly a very popular way is the 12-step recovery model. So what exactly are the 12 steps? So from the 12 steps were developed as one of the kind of groundbreaking mutual support groups that had grown out of first the early Indian wellness circles. There were some efforts within some of the religious and fraternal organizations, most notably the Oxford groups, and a stockbroker named Bill Wilson had originally kind of had been at Towns Hospital and had a relationship with Dr. Silkworth, and so there's a lot on the history of the development of Alcoholics Anonymous, but he ended up meeting a doctor from Akron, Ohio named Bob Smith, Dr. Bob Smith, and the two are attributed with founding Alcoholics Anonymous. So what are the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous? So this is the methodology that Dr. Bob and Bill Wilson had developed to advance their recovery, where the individual improved their health and wellness, lived a self-directed life, and strived to meet their full potential. And so the steps have a pathway that many people have found very successful. So let me read each of the 12 steps from Alcoholics Anonymous's 12 Steps and 12 Traditions booklet. Step one is admit we were powerless over alcohol. Many other groups will substitute alcohol with addiction, and Narcotics Anonymous with other things for problem gambling, for Emotions Anonymous has a difference. So powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. 2, came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. 3, made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood Him. Number 4 is made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. Number 5, admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. Step 6, we're entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of character. Step 7, humbly asked Him to remove our shortcomings. 8, made a list of all persons that we had harmed and became willing to make amends to them all. 9, made direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. Step 10, continued to take a personal inventory, and when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. Step 11, sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood Him, praying only for knowledge of His will for us and the power to carry that out. And step 12, having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we tried to carry this message to alcoholics and to practice these principles in all of our affairs. So that's the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous. Not such a big mystery. Many people have heard about them. Maybe you've heard cultural references to some of them. There's sometimes in a comedy routine, hey, when are you getting to the amends part of those steps? And but many people have found great success with those. And one thing that Alcoholics Anonymous found with the number of people that were finding kind of hope and freedom and all of that was that they started having other people with other problems other than alcohol begin to attend their meetings. And that was quite a struggle for them, because you didn't want to turn people away that were struggling, and perhaps it could be a death sentence for those, and in particular people struggling with drugs other than alcohol. And kind of a brilliant move that Alcoholics Anonymous and Bill had thought about and written a lot of letters and had a lot of internal debates about what to do with these people. And in a brilliant move, what they did was they said, well, these steps are available for anybody that wanted to adopt them, that Alcoholics Anonymous needed to stay true to its core purpose and not get diverted, because what they found was that the real strength that they had was that like-minded people that were struggling with the same problem could find identification and be able to relate with one another and be able to then be able to recover together. So by allowing other groups to be able to adopt and use their steps, there's hundreds of organizations now that are, very specialized to specific drugs, to specific issues. Emotions Anonymous is one that's not related to a specific substance, but maybe relates to a process addiction. There's family support groups, there's support groups for eating disorders, there's support groups for problem gambling, and a variety of other things. So whichever issue brings you to looking for recovery, there's probably a support group out there that would fit you that's in the 12-step model. Again, non-12-step, there's plenty of support groups that don't utilize those steps, but do have that mutual support component and are able to help people increase their health and wellness and connect with their community in a variety of ways. So if you're looking for a 12-step organization, again, the internet's a great place to start. Alcoholics Anonymous is the largest, most available one for people that identify with alcohol. There's another group, Narcotics Anonymous, that is probably the largest group that's focused on people struggling with drugs, and Narcotics Anonymous considers alcohol to be a drug for purposes there. But again, if you have a problem with gambling, there's probably a GA meeting that's nearby. If you don't want to just search the internet, there's probably some resource directories available, in your newspaper or in your local community. If you have a 211 help number that's often for help with, they'll probably have information to your closest 12-step organization or non-12-step organization. But if you're struggling, you think you need some help, you probably do. Most people that don't need help don't sit around thinking about whether they should go or not. But as people are very friendly, it's a very open atmosphere, and if it's not the right place, no harm in going and checking out a meeting or two and seeing if it works for you. Who knows? You might actually even meet somebody that knew along the way at one of the meetings and make you feel right at home. Thanks.